Hey now, this is the Mean Man, Mean Mike Miller, and I'm fixed to go on the Wolfie Show.
Hey, this is Jimmy Street, host of the Live and in Color with Wolfie D podcast. Hear the life and times of professional wrestler Wolfie D. From his time in the territories with PG-13 to his time in WWE, ECW, WCW, TNA, and more. Nothing is off limits and nothing will be held back. Thanks again for tuning in. Here he is, Wolfie D.
Welcome once again to Live and in Color with Wolfie D and my man Jimmy across the street. And man, we got a good guest today. We always have good guests, but Mean Mike Miller, man. This is going to be cool as shit, man. It's going to be cool as shit. A Memphis guy, lives there. But then I swear, man, I met him when I was a young kid, man, and we'll talk about that. But yeah, man, awesome. I can't wait to talk to Mean Mike Miller and this, the Portland thing that we're doing here with Captain Nick.
Yeah, very cool thing, man. Of course, that is February 22nd at the Holiday Inn Portland Airport, 8439 Northeast Columbia Court, Portland, Oregon, the Portland Wrestling Expo. Some people may ask, hey, Jimmy, hey, Wolfie, why are you guys covering Portland? Well, that is because we are a nationwide, worldwide podcast. People hear us all over the country, so all over the world. And we just received our Spotify Wrapped, and I think 25 countries are where we are heard currently.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Man, that's pretty cool. So anyway, that is why we are trusted with things such as Portland. It ain't Portland, Tennessee. This is Portland, Oregon. And, so our buddy Captain Nick, whenever he has a cool opportunity come up, we did one for him in Texas, the world-class reunion they did down in Florida, and then we've done some other stuff with him for other events. But, we just appreciate that he trusts us with this opportunity, and especially with guys like this dude, Mean Mike Miller. I know we had the Grappler. We had an excellent conversation with Ricky Santana, and now we've got Mean Mike Miller, man. I'm stoked, man. Really
we've had great conversations with these guys, man. It's been so cool,
Yeah, very enlightening, but very off the beaten path for us. It's been a good thing, man. We consider ourselves not just a Memphis podcast, even though that's a very strong part of our, whole show, but and of course your career, but we consider ourselves a wrestling podcast. And, in this instance, Yeah. So anyway,
love it, man.
I'm excited about Mean Mike, man. Heard a lot of good stuff about this guy. So do you want to get him on?
It's going to be fun, man. I can't wait to hear from him.
Yeah, for sure. You ready to get him on?
Let's do it.
All right. We'll be right back with Mean Mike Miller on Live and in Color with Wolfie D.
Hey folks, to get your official Live and in Color with Wolfie D merchandise, go to prowrestlingtees.com/live Wolfie D. Check it out.
If you're listening to Live and in Color with Wolfie D on Apple Podcast and like what you're hearing, go ahead and leave a 5-star rating. And while you're at it, write a review. Tell us what you liked. Tell us what you'd like to hear in the future. It's very important to us and always appreciated. Thanks again.
All right, guys, we're back. And as always, you survived that commercial break, and we appreciate you coming back to join us. This week, we have another Pacific Northwest guy that's going to be on that convention up there coming up in January. Thanks to Captain Nick from Captain's Corner for bringing us this guest. Somebody that I met way back early in my career when I was like 18 or 19, maybe even before that on some outlaw shows. Heck, I can't remember. But it's been a minute, and I'm glad to have him on. Can't wait to talk to you. How you doing, Mean Mike Miller?
Hey, how you doing, Wolfie and Jimmy?
Hey,
this is the Mean Man. I tell you, it's been a while, brother.
Yeah, man, sure has. I was sitting there when Nick said that you'd be available to do it. I was like, man, it's hard to remember. And then I started looking online at like kind of your career stuff, and I was like, yeah, he was in Memphis when we got our break there. So I knew I met you there. And then I was thinking I even probably met you on some outlaw shows before that when I was even younger. But yeah, man,
right,
been a long time. How are you doing today, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. Just getting up, getting going, and I was excited about getting on this show because I heard about you, and I'm just like I said, I've been out for a while, but
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to going to Portland to this expo they're going to have in Oregon.
That should be a really good event, man. We had Lynn Denton, the grappler. We've had him on, and we had Ricky Santana on, and they're both pumped and excited. I'm sure you're excited to see them too.
Oh yeah. The first time I heard it, I thought, because I always thought they should do something, kind of like that for Portland, because Portland is kind of like the heartbeat of wrestling at that time, because everybody seemed like they got their start.
Yeah,
in Portland, a lot of guys come up. Jesse Ventura, all those guys.
Yeah,
and Roddy Piper and all that. So, yeah, it's going to be exciting because we're going to have Ricky Santana there, the grappler, my old partner Moondog Moretti, and all that. So, but
hey, real quick, Mike. Explain the difference between a Memphis Moondog and a Portland Moondog.
Well, they're kind of like the same crew, only different values. I don't know. I used to travel with the Memphis Moondogs too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, with Larry Booker and we'd stay in Nashville there. And I'd share a room with them, but the one thing I did, I slept in my clothes. I didn't trust them guys as far as I could throw them. So, but I loved them both, I tell you.
Yeah.
Y'all was probably at the Congress Inn, weren't you?
Congress Inn. I remember I woke up one day and Don Fargo was standing at our door with a tray of hamburgers and a spatula. And nothing on. He said, "Y'all ready to barbecue?" And I went, "Oh boy, where am I at?"
Why you got a piercing in that hot dog, Don?
Oh, that's the truth about Don.
I'm sorry, I'm horrible. I apologize. You go ahead.
No, I'm just going to tell you a story about him down in Lorandra, Louisiana, and he was in the dressing room there, and he would sit there, and there's a Mexican boy come in. He was going to wrestle, so we always use this. So he sat over there, opened up his bag, had everything packed real nice. Don, he's sitting over there, had reading the paper, smoking a cigar. He looks down, reaches in his bag, just one of them big safety pins. Right through the, and puts a roach on it. It's sitting there going like that, and the Mexican kid packed his shit and got out.
You didn't even have to stretch him. It was just.
He said, "No, I'm not going to stay here, brother." So, there's a lot of interesting times on the road, and I'm just like I said, I can't wait for this thing in Portland because so many of my friends are going to show up.
Yeah, I bet that'll be cool.
Want to say, Ricky Vaughn's going to show up, I guess, and
Lance, Ricky,
Ricky Vaughn, I think he was up there. He started out in Portland, and I had the belt, and Don said, "Jesus Christ, you got to put this on the babyface," and I said, "Don, hell, this kid probably can hardly get into the ring, Yeah. But I went out there and worked. I brought the belt to him, and he was super. He was a real good kid. He learned quick, and he was kind of like, just breaking into the business, just like Joey Jackson. He come up. He just started, Yeah. And he was. I remember getting into the ring with him. We had a perfect match. It was beautiful. I said, "Have you ever wrestled before?" He said, "I've never wrestled in front of anybody." And I said, "Oh, no." Yeah, but the grappler had trained him. So he really knew his stuff when he got in there. Me and BOWTIE D, my other partner, and Rip were real tickled with him. I thought it was great. So we all had a great time in Portland. I mean, we were on the road 7 days a week.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes twice on Sunday.
Yeah.
And always Christmas, always Thanksgiving. So we were with the guys as much as we were with our wives or family.
For sure.
So
For sure. You know, one thing I noticed too about your career, looking at it, being a tag team wrestler myself, most all of my career, it looks like you had the Pacific Northwest tag team champions, I believe, 457 times. Am I right on that?
Yeah, you're pretty well close.
You might have missed one, Wolfie.
I had it with Moondog Moretti, me and Carl Steiner, me and Bobby Jaggers, me and Rip Oliver, one time with Buddy, and God, you just go on down the line. After I changed babyface too, you know, hell, I went babyface with Brian Adams.
Yeah.
You know, so I was kind of like, after a while, it became like the grandfather, I guess, of the thing. I don't know. I was there for so damn long, you know. But I saw a lot of people come and go though. I remember Brian Adams come in. He'd come to the Bomber, and I was thinking, man, he's 6'8", 300 something pounds. I'm thinking, man, he had the beard, he had the long hair, and I thought he's coming in to take my place. I said, you running me off? You know, but he just come in and, you know, he didn't have a lot of training neither, but he was big. He didn't need it. Just walk inside, you know.
And you're talking about Brian. You're talking about Crush, right?
Brian Adams, Crush. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in the Nation of Domination with me when we got a little chance there in WWF, WWE, whatever you want to call it.
What a nice guy.
Oh, for sure, for sure. And then, of course, Steve Dahl was his brother-in-law, and I was really close with Steve. Steve lived in Nashville, and ended up passing away.
Yeah, Steve. I used to get on with Steve, you know, and I would tell him, I say, Steve, you throw too many punches. I said, he said, I ain't choking, you know. So he'd throw. I said, just throw one or two. I mean, he'd back up. He nailed me. I almost went outside the ring. I said, man, jaw. I said, well, the last time I did that. So, but we had some interesting times. I enjoyed going up through. We used to make these trips. We'd go from Portland, go to Yakima, or like that's on a Sunday or something like that. So we'd get in the car. We'd have a long trip. So, you know, there was a lot of stuff going on. Hell, just riding up there and you know, doing your shot, getting back in the car, traveling back. Now, a lot of the stories, the fun stories, are like when you're riding inside the car.
Absolutely.
When you're traveling, you know, so
yes,
it was.
So feel free to tell us every one of them. Sorry, I cut you off.
We were coming back with Harley Race, and it was Harley Race and Rip, and we had the promoter. We had Don Owens' son with us, Barry, and I was sitting in the back. We're riding and everybody's drinking, and Barry wouldn't drink. Barry said, well, I got to drive from here, and then I got to go all the way to, and we just kept on going, and Harley handed him a beer. He said, okay. So he drank it. He did another one, too. Harley said, Rip, you have a gun? Rip said, yeah, underneath the seat. Handed to Harley. Harley puts the beer can on his hand and shoots it off his hand, going down on the road. He said, you want another beer, Barry? He said, oh, yeah. So,
oh, my God.
That was, he was in Centralia, Washington when I broke my ankle. And I was with Jules Strombo, and I went to do one of them moves. My ankle twisted, and all I could remember was hear it pop. So we stopped the match. I went out. I got disqualified, and by the time I got to the dressing room door, I fell into Rip's arms. He pulled me in. I took that boot off, and Harley come around. He said, "Looks like you broke it, son." And he went in there. He said, "Threw 2 pills in my mouth," and I didn't even know I broke it. So, but I went to the doctor, and they said, "Oh, you're gonna have to be out a while." So about after a week, I sat at home. I went to the doctor. Rip, he come over, got me, took me to the emergency room. Hell, I had a plate, 7 screws put in my ankle. So,
oh damn!
And I was out. I was supposed to have been out 6 months to a year. I did that on the 16th of October, and the 24th or the 25th. I think we wrestled Christmas. I don't know, in Seattle. I wrestled Stan stage. I got right back in the ring. I tied my boot on. I put tape on it. I said, "Hell, if I can't work, I don't get paid."
Right.
So I had to get out the door. So boys took care of me. And Stan was great. You know, Stan Stasiak. We used to travel with him. We'd pull over to the side of the road, and he'd go, we'd be all out there doing our business, and there'd be a field full of cows and bulls. And he goes, "Watch this." He goes, ooh, he had a deep voice, and he let out with them. Here coming damn bulls charging. We were all trying to get back to that car.
Man, you know, you talk about working hurt and stuff like that with the broken ankle. Man, that's what a lot of these guys don't understand now, man. Back then, you just had to work hurt, and even if it was a real bad hurt, you know, it like you said, you ain't gonna get paid, but then also you didn't want nobody to take your spot.
That's right. That's right. This is a cutthroat business. You got to be careful.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, hell, I was in Louisiana and Alexandria, me and Brett Sawyer inside the ring. Give him a simple elbow as he come off the rope. I spun, broke my toe, went into the dressing room, and I made that shot that night by myself, so I wanted to make it home for the wife, you know. So, and I broke it on that foot, and I didn't know it broke. I never went to the doctor, but I never missed a day of work neither. I wore flip-flops to work. When I got in, I taped that toe down, taped my boot, and all that, and I went on and wrestled. So, yeah, you got to work with, you know, with broken bones or concussion, or whatever, you know. But a lot of the matches back then, I mean, you know, you just really took pride in them, you know. You know, they're flying around the ring now, but it's kind of like we told them a story. And that's what I kind of think that's what they liked about it. It was kind of like a soap opera on steroids.
For sure.
You know, you had these guys, you know, well, Rip did something to him, or he'll be back with the Clan next week. You always had to lay out that, you know, of course, you already know. Yeah. But, but it's just you get real close to these guys, and that's why I'm looking forward to this expo in Portland.
Hey, Jimmy, give them the rundown. Jimmy, give them the rundown on the give the listeners the rundown on the show.
So obviously that is February 22nd at the Portland Wrestling Expo, and of course that is in the Holiday Inn Portland Airport. That's 8439 Northeast Columbia Court, Portland, Oregon. You're going to see our buddy here, Mean Mike Miller, the Grappler, Ricky Santana, Ricky Vaughn, Lance Von Erich, whatever you want to call him. I mean, you've got Top Gun, Moondog Moretti, Rikishi's going to be there, Sue Young. I mean, it's going to be awesome, man. I mean, seriously, you know, it's so cool to see this because you don't see this for the Portland area enough. You know what I mean? So.
No. Portland, they kind of forget you when you get out there, and the only time they remember you if you leave. Like I left and come to Memphis, and Lawler worked a program with me when I was here, and what a super worker Lawler is. I mean, he's a great guy too, and his punches are great. I mean, we were outside the ring, we were going out. This is my hometown too, so I had a lot of family there. He throws me outside the ring. He bangs my head. I turn around. This old guy takes off his boot, hands it to Lawler. I turn around, and Lawler nails him with this boot. Hands it back to the guy. He puts the boot back on. He was tickled to death. So, you know, that's Memphis for us. wrestling.
Heck yeah, man. You can't say enough about Lawler. We talk about that quite a bit on here because, you know, a lot of my listeners are from the Memphis area because I was a Memphis mainstay. And, yeah, man, Lawler's punches, we talk about that. That's, man, I swear that to me, they're the best in the business because nobody can throw them anymore. New people can't throw punches, period. But he, you know, a lot of guys that do throw a good punch, they really got like one punch. But Lawler throws uppercuts, jabs, lefts, rights. He could throw every punch there is.
He does, and he does it well.
Yeah.
You know, him and Joe LeDuc, I guess, do the best punch.
Yeah.
Joe LeDuc, I don't know if you remember him. He's
yeah.
Out of Canada.
Cut himself with an axe on TV.
My God. Yes. I remember
that in the table spot with Lawler where he chunked him over the top rope onto that table.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Right. Yeah. The Memphis wrestling is totally different than when you get out, you know, because you can do so much in Memphis.
Yeah.
You know, it was, well, like that's where I started watching wrestling. Hell, I remember Lawler when he first started, and I think it was Sam Bass and somebody come in and put a noose around his neck and hung him.
You're right.
On TV. I remember everybody was freaking out. You know, they hung a lot. Well, of course, that's when Lawler wasn't but about maybe 20 years old. You know, he just started. And that was interesting to me because that's the first thing that you know, Tojo Yamamoto, all of them, I patterned myself right after him, how he sneaks around the ring.
Yeah.
It used to make me so mad. And I said, look at that sorry joker. He sneaked around, nail all, you know, so just like I said, and I was never, I worked at a auto plant here in Bolivar, Tennessee. I was out of town. Bolivar, Tennessee, at Jarvis. I worked over there, and one night a guy said, "Man, you want to ride up to the Welch's up to see? We train up there."
Yeah,
so we went up there, and Herb Welch had a ring, and he'd let you train for $350. Boom, and you just go up every Wednesday and Sunday night and train. So me and Wayne Ferris, Coco Beware, God, I can't remember, but all those guys had wrestled there. Yeah. Went up there and, you know, so I remember one night Coco was there. We had just started. I didn't know nothing, but we were showing each other how to slam. Coco said, "Let me slam your brother." And he slammed me. He said, "I'm going to drop a leg on you." So he hits a rope. He runs, jumps straight up in there. All I see, I look up, and I see his big butt fixing to hit right on my face.
Oh, man.
I turned my head to the side. You know, I said, "Well," I said, "you need to work on that."
Yeah.
So, knocked me out, didn't
I had a guy when I worked for TNA. We were doing a battle royal, and brother did a front flip into a leg drop and landed the exact same way, but I didn't turn my head. It broke my nose. It knocked me out for a minute. I couldn't get to my feet and everything. Yeah, so I feel you on
that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I think I was knocked out once in Tampa, Florida. It was me and Bubba Douglas. Do you remember a guy named Bubba Douglas, Ray? He was like first or second matches. They called him the mayor of Lakeland.
I don't remember that name.
I'm talking about it. It was probably about, I don't know, 79.
Okay. I hadn't even started watching wrestling yet.
He's going to do a small package.
Yeah.
And, of course, I didn't know, really, so he run in, did a small, when he went down, I hit right on top of my head.
Ooh.
And knocked me out. And all I remember was him pinning me, and he's going, get up. Now, hell, I can't. So that's the only time I've ever been knocked out. Well, besides Matt Bourne was in Seattle now, flying mare, Matt, and you do a flying mare, then you go down, get a reverse chin lock on him. Yeah. Well, just as soon as you know how Matt is, his ass hits the mat, and here he comes. Straight up into my mouth, knocks my teeth backwards. Oof. His blonde hair is turning red, so I had to tag Rip in, So I got to get out there and straighten my teeth out to finish the match.
Oh, damn.
All kinds of stuff, man. All kinds of stuff. We had Rip. You know, Rip did that thing with Billy Jack at time with Santa Claus, and then Rip ran in there and hit him with a sledgehammer or something. Laid Bill. So that, you know, the thing that they do in Portland.
That's a name that I've inquired with everybody from Portland that's been on here, because Billy Jack came through Memphis somewhere in the mid '90s. That's the first time I'd met him. And a guy that size, I've said this to everybody, a guy that size that laughs like that, this son bitch is crazy. I knew it from the get-go. And, you know, I've heard everybody tell their Billy Jack stories, and plus we all know what recently has took place with him. I mean, he was a nice guy, but I knew there were some screws loose. What's your take on Billy Jack?
He had a dark side.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just had a side of him. Now, when he broke into business, he didn't know nothing. Yeah. He was just a bodybuilder. So Sandy Barr took him and trained him. So me and Rip and Unbeatables Dean and Carl and whoever was there as a heel, we had to work with him to get him to where, and hell, I've never seen somebody come right off the street. You work with him about two months, he's in your main event match. That's how good he was. That's how he caught on. But just like you said, he was huge. Yeah. He was huge. He was presentable. He was polite. You know, he could sell. You know, he could sell a ship to somebody in the desert. I mean, you know, that's just the way it was. And you know, and I had real run-ins with him when Vince was going to come up here and take it, and Billy was working for Vince and made that big payoff in Detroit when they had that WrestleMania there. So he come back and opened up that gym, opened up the OWS. Yeah. And of course, I was already down. The first, of course, Grappler come in. He took over the book for Portland, so he already had guys there. So I said, well, hell, I might as well try. So I went on. I mean, I didn't have nothing against Don at all. I mean, Don was the best promoter ever that I worked for, you know. And I worked for a lot of them, but he was real good. But I just went on over there to Billy and me and Brian Adams and Rip and Coco, practically the whole damn crew. Mm-hmm. But Don was so established, we just couldn't get nothing. And Billy was on the ship, so you know he was on the coke and all, and he just couldn't get nothing going. I mean, you know, he would freak out over shit, you know, and you'd try to give him an idea. The idea was his, and he's going to go with it, you know. So yeah, but you know, I mean, it was just he messed over a lot of people. I mean, you know, it really shocked me when I found out all the shit that was happening with him. Yeah, you know, because I looked when he first made it, I said, okay, this guy's going to be good. I tried to put him over the best way I could, you know, and Rick too, you know. And, you know, he made it. I mean, you know, he went to Texas, then to Florida, then to New York. And then I think that's when I think they had to land the plane in Atlanta, Georgia, because he had taken too many downers or hydros or whatever. Yeah. And I think that was the beginning to the end for him.
And I tell you, man, as a kid, that WrestleMania 3 match, him and Hercules, that was one of my favorite matches. I watched that thing so many times when they was press slamming each other, and yeah, man, I love that match. And I liked him, and you know, but like I said, you know, once I met him, and you know, I'm in the business and everything, I could tell there was something not going right there. No, well, yeah. Not in a single one-on-one, but we had a big, like a, I don't know, 6 or 8 man cage match that we was all in, where to win it you had to handcuff everybody to the cage and all that kind of shit.
Oh shit!
That was in Memphis.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, he was different, and you could just tell, man. And
Yeah.
what happened.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
And then, even before that, though, do you think it's dementia or something? Because he was going on those shoot interviews telling some crazy ass stories. It's like, is there something wrong up there? Is he just a liar or what?
Well, I think maybe it's just the use of the substance he was using.
Yeah.
And he used so much of it, I think it just affected him later on. And of course, if you're going to have Alzheimer's or whatever, that would probably kick it in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he wasn't the right, just like I said, I mean, when he started, hell, he was doing commercials for the car, for the auto people there in Portland.
Yeah.
He was driving a new car, had a brand new home. I mean, he was, for anybody that wanted success, he come from being a doorman and a bodybuilder to being, one of the New York's top dogs, but he started in Portland, and he never worked first or second batches. He always worked main event in Portland. When he started, that's how good that was. His body looked good. He could talk.
Yeah.
He could talk to Don, and these ideas would come up. And we sold that place out a lot. With Billy there, we had the best summer. I can't remember, 84, 85 or something, but we had the best summer that year. All of our houses were sold out, and Billy and Rip had stretcher matches. They had a stretcher match in it was in Cocoa, Oregon. Somewhere in Oregon. They had a stretcher match. Well, right at the end of it, Rip and Rip had heat. So Rip told us that me and the Buddhists would watch our backs. So we're standing at the door watching it. Rip's in there. Billy puts Rip on the stretcher. They go out. Billy comes back down, nails him. Then he puts Billy on the stretcher. Billy goes out. Rip comes off the rope or the ring and hands the elbow on Billy outside the people, and that's when the riot started. Man, everybody started throwing shit. We had to get Rip inside. And Billy sold it all the way. They had the ambulance come. They had the cops there. We had to wait almost 30 minutes before we left because
awesome.
People waiting on. Now that's heat. That's what you're,
That's the best, man.
That's the best.
Let's take a quick time out and get a word from one of my dope-ass sponsors, and we'll be right back with more Live and in Color with Wolfie D.
The Portland Wrestling Expo will take place on Saturday, February 22nd at the Holiday Inn Portland Airport. The PWE will be a celebration of the unique past and present of the Pacific Northwest area. It's presented by Captain's Corner. Announced guests include the Grappler, Mean Mike Miller, Top Gun, Ricky Santana, Moondog Moretti, John Nord, and C.W. Bergstrom. There will even be a Portland Wrestling History Q&A. In addition, there'll be international guests such as Hall of Famers Eric Bischoff, Rikishi, crowd favorites like The Boogeyman and Lance Von Erich. Make sure to head on over to pwexpo.com to get your tickets. VIP tickets are already half sold. The Portland Wrestling Expo on Saturday, February 22nd. Be there.
When I went up there when I went to Portland in 83, Iceman King Parsons was my first win. I'll always remember that. I never won a match. I got up there and Don said, "Oh, Jesus Christ, Miller, go out there and get one on Parsons." And hell, I didn't even have a finishing hold. So I had to get with Parsons, and I did that. I thought that was, I remember that. I remember going up and down. I was thinking, man, these guys wrestle 7 days a week. I didn't know if I could do it or not, but I put 400,000 miles on a Ford. that I drove. I sure did. And of course, Rip would do part of the driving. I'd do part. And I remember going down the road. I was dipping. I'll tell you who got me first. Had a little dip in my mouth.
Yeah.
Oh man, here I go. I go way back to Nashville when you had Morton and what were they?
Ricky Roberts,
the Rockers,
the Rock and Roll Express.
Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah.
And I was with it was Morton and
who?
What's the other? Who it was? Morton and who else?
Robert Gibson. Who? Yeah.
Robert Gibson. Well, I'm going to town with Robert, right? We're riding up there. Well, everybody else riding in the van, the Samoans. Let's see, Hanson Jimmy's brother, Jerry was there. Mm-hmm. Jerry Valiant. And we're all riding. The Moondogs are there. We're riding down. Well, I'm riding with Gibson, and he goes, and I'm watching him dip. I said, I never dip. He said, here, I got your cup. I said, oh, man, if he give me a dip, I'm sitting there, and he's looking at me right there, and I never spit. So about that time I look, and all these mountains are coming in on me. I said, oh, shit. He said, you want me to pull over? I said, I'll take a fire. I said, no, pull over. He pulls over. I'm holding at the back of the car, throwing up. Yeah. The van comes by. The Samoans are standing at the door with the van door open. They're mooning me, and they're all laughing.
The good old days.
We get to Murfreesboro that day. They get a bear in there that they want, and I said, man, there ain't no way. So I say, okay, well, you're not going to wrestle the bear. You're going to wrestle Abdullah the Butcher. And I'd rather wrestle the bear. So I go, I'm a young guy, man. I ain't been in the business about a year.
Yeah.
So I'll go in there. Here's Abdullah. He's taping his finger. And Mark Lewin was sitting by him. And Mark said, I think that's your opponent. I come in there, I go, yeah. He said, brother, and Abdullah was real nice. He said, just go in there and, just do your thing. He's telling me all this. We're on TV. So we go out there, match starts. So he nails me, I sell. So I start nailing him. So he starts selling. I'm freaking out. I said, this ain't, and so finally he chops me. Then he starts coming in on me, boom, 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 boom. Then he starts running his head to the turnbuckle. Then he juices. Man, I'm freaking out. He kills me 1, 2, 3, so I get out. So I said, well, I guess that wasn't bad. I survived. But he did. He takes like 3 or 4 fingers, and he'll zip right on his head. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was and then the one time I'd wrestled the bear, Ginger Bear, in Kentucky, and went up there and Sputnik Monroe was there just to visit. So he comes in, he's like, I got that bear going for you. So me and this other kid was going to wrestle the bear. The kid was kind of the bear's trainer. He said, I'm going to go in there, lift him up. You're going to go in behind him. We're going to take him down, and we'll win. I'm looking at him. I said, yeah, okay. So we go out there. Wayne Ferris is there, Larry Booker. They're all out watching this match. That bear stands straight up. I get in there with him, and I'm going to go at him, and he takes his paw and goes right in front of my face. I dropped to all fours trying to get out, and the bear's pulling me back in the ring.
No shit.
Oh, my God.
They know I was scared to death, so... Anyway, I survived the match. So.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the match where Tracy Smothers wrestles the bear? Tracy gave that bear hell, man.
Did he really?
Yeah, it's on YouTube, man. If you get a chance to look it up, it's funny, especially if you know Tracy. It's just how he is.
Yeah. They did tell me if the bear pins you, put his claws on you, put your hands on his claws. So he don't scrape chest. I said, thanks a lot. So, yeah. Okay.
Well, Jimmy, I'm gonna roll across the ring and I'm gonna hot tag you, man.
All right, hot tag. Hot tag with Mean Mike Miller. Can you bump and feed for me, Mike? No, you don't have to do that.
Oh yeah.
So
man,
we actually have a
break.
Yeah, so you've actually been talking some about this area, and we've actually got a great listener question that's going to lead into that. So this is listener question from Quentin Charisma at GMBMPW, and he says there's one website that has you working in 79 and 80 for Jarrett, okay? And then then another website says you were working for Goulas in 80, okay? So if the Goulas bookings were him, it was in the last week Goulas was in business. So was that you?
Right.
Did you work for Goulas?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. And
Yes,
did you know they were shut down?
No, I didn't. Of course, I was first, second matches. They don't ever tell you nothing. I just worked for them for a while. I mean, I really didn't. It wasn't like something that I did. If they had a spot, I'd go and work.
Yeah.
So that's just like I said. I had the privilege of working with all the promoters and of course, Goulas was very colorful. I mean, Jesus Christ, kid, what are you doing to my goddamn office? He had that used car salesman hair,
yes,
the back,
Yeah.
Oh man. But I was with him. I was with him just before he got out. Yeah. Okay. And I guess it's when Jarrett took over.
That would be the time frame. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Okay. And that's Jeff Jarrett was a hell of a worker. I really missed working with him.
Yeah.
Jeff Jarrett, man. Of course, I don't think I ever worked with Jerry, but I did work with Jeff.
Yeah.
And
okay. So who did you like working better for, Goulas or Jarrett, or was it about the same? Or
well, when you first started, it was about the same because I never, I was just in there and out, doing my thing and then pull up. I got to wrestle, Now it might have been different. Now after I come back and I worked with Lawler, it was different. I liked it, but I just kind of messed up when I was going to get that spot. And I had a family in Oregon, and they called me and we would come home, Daddy, and all that. So I kind of packed my stuff, and I said, well, I'm just going back to the house, Which if I would have stayed here, I would have had a chance to at least maybe work for WWF a while.
Yeah,
but it turned out the way it did, and I'm really happy because I have a lot of experiences and a lot of things I can talk about, like trips to Japan. The like 7 trips there.
Wow.
With all 3, with Giant Baba, with Antonio Inoki.
Yeah,
and then with New Japan Pro Wrestler, it was another one there that I went over the first time with, and I went back for Baba twice, and for Antonio Inoki 2 or 3 times. So that's where the guys really made their money, where they can just go over to Japan for 4 or 5 weeks and come on back.
Yeah. Especially like your Brodies and Stan are making 10, 20,000 a week, So, Did Ted DiBiase bring you over for All Japan? Is that who booked you on that one, or who booked you for All
Japan? Jake the Snake Roberts.
Okay, cool. I'm just fascinated with that era of All Japan right now. So, that's
are you? Okay.
Yeah, that's my current wrestling issue right now.
Got wrestling issues.
Yes, that's what my wife says at least. Well, okay, that's good. Okay, well, the last episode we had was with Ricky Santana, and he's a colorful guy too. Great stories, just like you. He was telling us that you were not a fan of his Indian strap matches.
Oh, that Yes, I'm sure he remembers too. Because he said, we're going to get a strap match. I said, how strap match? I said, man, I was telling Rip, I said, man, he said, oh, hell, just, it'll be all right. So we did the angle. I took his jacket. I tore his jacket in two and put it together with some shoestrings and wore it on TV and all. So we had that big angle going. So he said he brought a strap match out. So we're going to take it around the world. We're going to start Sunday, and here we go. For 7 days, me and him strapped each other. I'm telling you, I'd do like that, and I'd tell the ref, I said, man, he nailed me. He said, well, nail him back. So me and him, I got on the TV the next Saturday, and I had bruises all over my side, all over my back. Yeah, I'm not a real big fan of his strap match, but if he brings it, I'll have one. If he brings his strap, I'll have one with him.
Yeah. Well, Grappler said y'all were doing some kind of battle royal or something like that. Is that true? Have you heard?
Yeah. God, you're going back years. I'm thinking. See, he used to wear that best dressed man. He was by ZZ Top. He'd play that and then he had the tuxedo jacket he wore with the little black tie. Yeah. So one night I went in there, my partner BOWTIE D was wrestling him, so I give him some shit. So I drop down out of the ring. He comes over, my partner nails him. So as he's doing that, I grab Ricky's jacket, run in the back. Well, the third fall, I go out and I got his jacket. And while he's pinning BOWTIE D, I rip his jacket in two. So he bails out of the ring after me to the dressing room. Well, he gets counted out. My partner wins. Then he gets on the mic and tell, that I was in his side and he's going to get me and all that, So we kind of started from there. It could have been a battle royal that, hell, I can't remember. He might have better memory than I freaking do. Because, hey, I'm not a fan of the Grappler's chairs neither. I'm in the ring. He got that stupid boot. He loads it and he nails me, and I go out. On the side. I'm rolling around. So I get up. I go hit him with a chair. He stops me. Boom! Grabs the chair. And, of course, if anybody wrestles, turn the chair around so the edge is not there. Well, he hit me with the edge.
Oh, Lord.
Right at my head. Son of a gun, so I start bleeding like hell. But that's good. We still carry on. So that night I go out to a club, so I ordered me a double shot of Jack and a Miller. Yeah. So I'm sitting there. I take that Jack all the way back. I'm standing there looking at the bartender. He goes, oh, my God. I said, what? He said, you're bleeding. I look in the mirror, and this done broke loose in my head, and it's coming down my face. So I wipe my face off, and I go, he goes, don't throw it away. Sign it. I said, okay. So I signed it, give it to him.
That's amazing.
Hey, let me ask you a question, Mike, about, I always hated being hit. We're talking about chairs. I always hated being hit in the back with a chair. That shit stings so fucking bad. I would tell everybody, look, if you're going to hit me with a chair, just hit me in the head. I'd rather be hit in the head than on the back.
I'd rather get hit in the head, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather get
I didn't know if that was
them guys on the back. You know what it is? They're all thinking, especially if they're young, well, this ain't going to hurt them. Shit. You hit them with good flat, it will. You'll sting. But now the head, you get one or two hits to the head, get your color, and that's all. But hell, they'll wear your ass out with that chair. Hit you in the back and all. So, but I'm kind of with you. I kind of rather be hit that, but don't let the grappler do it.
Well, speaking of foreign objects, who swings a better 2x4? Mean Mike Miller or Hacksaw Jim Duggan?
Oh, me. Okay. Well, I love Hacksaw. I really do. I've been to Japan with him. Yeah. The only thing I remember about Hack, he handed me his glasses. He said, don't lose these. I can't see without him. And I said, you're going to go out and wrestle? So that's the only thing I remember about him. But he took now the way I got my 2x4 is they just turned me babyface. I just turned on Rip. So we're sitting in the dress room, and I think Steve Dahl, Peterson or something was inside the ring, and the heels went out and was beating up on him. Well, here come Don Owens. Jesus Christ, Miller, you're a babyface. Get out there and get him. I said, well, hell, I can't go out there just empty-handed. So when I went through the door, they had a frame built around the door where you couldn't see inside. And I reached up and grabbed a 2x4 and ripped it down, and had the nails coming out of it. So I got to the ring and started hitting everybody in the ass with them. With the nails, they all started bailing out. Boom, boom, boom. I said, okay. So from that night on, every time I'd go to a town, somebody would bring me a 2x4.
Yeah.
Some guy bought me a 12-foot 2x4. I said, how can I get that in the ring?
Yeah. How the hell do I swing that?
So when they brought it to me, I kept one of them, and I would use it every now and then. I really didn't introduce it too much till I took it home one night, and my wife said, I have an idea. She was artistic, but she was really good with art. Yeah. So she painted my 2x4 black. She put a chain around it. She put Bad to the Bone on it, and she wrapped 3 bandanas at the top of it. The only thing I could say, my 2x4 is prettier than Hack's.
It definitely was. I agree. Because you had one. I mean, it was all nice. It looked like it matched your gimmick. You know what I mean? And you had it compared to you, where it's just a plain 2x4 with hacksaw, but anyway.
Right. Well, my wife, she did it, and it's never been changed neither.
That's awesome.
I haven't touched it. It's the same way it was then.
You better be careful. Captain Nick will try to sell that thing, man.
Oh, me. Hey, well, I tell you, everything has a price. But this has a lot of memories for me. Because my wife did, So I said, well, and the funny thing about it, I really never used it a lot, but when I did use it, the people recognized it.
That's awesome.
I'm hoping to have it up there at Portland with me for the signing and the showing on. And man, I hope there's a lot of people to show, because we used to pack that building out every Saturday night. And I hope that whoever has ever been to a Portland match, they show up. If they do, we'll have a lot of people there.
Yeah. We're excited to hear all about it. Once again, it's Saturday, February 22nd at the Holiday Inn Portland Airport, 8439 Northeast Columbia Court, Portland, Oregon. When's the last time you've been to Portland, Mike?
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. I think I left there in 2012, I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I had my daughter, and I just hooked up with my daughter after 27 years, and I brought her back home. I thought maybe she would want to come back to like Louisiana or Tennessee, but we finally wound up in Florida. She's married, has my grandson Michael, and Yellie's doing good, but she lives right there in Florida now. So, but when I was in Portland, I was just telling you earlier how the people were. They were just so they just remember things. I mean, It's funny. They'll tell me stuff that I did, and I'm thinking, well, maybe I did, and if I, but they always remember. They're always watching you.
Portland and Memphis fans a bit remind me of each other. They're very passionate and they're very true. And honestly, they could care less about WWE and WCW and all those companies because they loved their hometown. Do you get that vibe from the Portland fans and the Memphis fans?
You're right. It's that thing that's in the air, excitement in the air, but that's love in the air too, because they'll show up for those matches every Saturday night. And, Don would always give specials, kids entry with paying adult and all that, So we would, they liked Don too. I mean, the whole thing was just something you couldn't make. It just had to be created.
Yeah.
And that was a bowling alley. Can you imagine how much Don Owens made out of that bowling alley and the matches with Buddy Rose, Matt Bourne,
Roddy Piper, the Grappler. Come on, man.
Piper.
Mean Mike Miller.
I'm telling you. But I'm telling you, it's just amazing. It was created, just like I said. You couldn't make that. So that's why I really miss it, and I call it my home because I lived there for 30 years.
Yeah.
And just soon as I got up there, I went from there to Canada and wrestled for Stu Hart with them crazy Hart boys and David Schultz, Honky Tonk Man.
Okay.
And oh man, that was a crazy run too. But it was only 7 months.
Yeah.
But you're traveling around in snow and traveling around with people you don't want to shut your eyes around.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
Shit. Well, Jimmy,
with anybody listening that has ever been to Canada knows what I'm saying about the heart.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Are you a pro wrestling fan? Well, stop by Captain's Corner, where you can get autographed photos, cards, magazines, and figures from all of your favorite wrestling superstars of the past, present, and future. You'll also be able to participate in live signings in the weeks and months to come. Make sure to stop by Captain's Corner on Facebook and give us a holler. Remember, cheers to the working man.
I feel like I'm blessed to be able to talk about the business the way I do now because I've met so many people. I mean, even Greg Valentine, Valentine. I met them when I was in, down in Louisiana. All the old timers, kind of like, everybody, just like the Freebirds and all. They were on this card. They were there. Junkyard Dog. People that really made an impression in wrestling.
Yeah.
Ox Baker.
Yeah. I love Ox Baker. God, he's just so great. I don't know what it is. I just think he's the greatest, man. It's just, I've always been a fan. Yeah. Yeah.
Have you, he had a part in that Escape from New York movie,
Right. Yes. Yeah. Yes. I love that.
But that's when I wrestled. That's when I wrestled with him when he came to North Carolina, and Carl Fergie was his partner.
Okay.
He was telling them. He said, "Yeah, I did that movie, but I didn't go down, kid." And he didn't. When he hit him in the head, he just leaned against the ropes.
Right.
He said,
it's so true.
Oh man, he would kill me. He would have one of them. Rubik's Cube, and he'd work on it, and then put it in his dressing room, and he'd dress, go out to his match. Well, either Piper or one of the guys, Ole Anderson or whoever it was, walk through. They find the thing and just do it all, scramble it all up, then put it back up
there. That's good. I wouldn't think of Ox being a.
I remember I was in Charlotte, and Roddy Piper was there. And first time I met Roddy. He was just getting his push, and he was going to go out and play his pipes for the Crockett's.
Yeah.
So he got up there and he said, "Well, I'm going to have a push." He gets up there, he starts blowing gets his bagpipes out there, starts blowing it, and nothing happened. Well, the boys went out and put toilet paper in all of his holes. So his damn thing wouldn't even work.
You don't know who did it?
Oh man, you'd have to point 5 fingers at people.
Okay, gotcha. You got 5.
I'm trying to think who all was there. You know, hell, it could have been the promoters. You know, hell, I don't know.
Yeah,
right.
You had only Anderson there. You know, I'm trying to add Gene Anderson.
Oh,
You know, oh my God. I mean, you know, handsome Jimmy Valiant. You know, Ric Flair was there a while until they give him the World Heavyweight Champion. He beat Harley, and then he left, and the towns were sold out before he left. And right after when Rick left, our towns just dropped. We were running 3 towns a night. That's how big Charlotte was.
Wow.
And
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I live in Mooresville, so that's where I live. Yeah.
Okay. I was all over Charlotte, all over North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia. And then we would go in and do Atlanta TV for WTBS. You know, that would come on Saturdays.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was the big WTBS wrestling. And I remember I wrestled Tommy Rich. And Tommy's real light. You know, he's real light as a fellow. Well, I'm working with the guys that like to be snug. You know, you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
So TV, go out there, I'm thinking, oh, my family's watching. Here I go. I lock up with Tommy, and instead of, you know, I lock up tight. But when I did, I took him almost down to the ground, and oh no, I had to pick him back up and start all over. He said, "Damn, kid." I said, "I know."
Oh God, I could just hear Tommy saying that. Actually,
I got some good Tommy stories. I rode up and down the road with Tommy quite a bit. I got some good.
Oh, good. But don't. You feel blessed by doing all that, right? I mean, you know, some of the shows that I rode, you know, the car rides that I was with. I mean, you know, Gordon Nelson, Jeff Ports. I mean, these are old guys that you probably don't even remember.
Yeah.
But you know, Jeff Ports from England. You know, I remember Gordon Nelson and Jeff would get out there in the ring to wrestle, and the promoter would be so mad because they both had masks and they both had black tights on. You couldn't tell neither one of them. You know, Jesus Christ! I told them to wear a jacket and wear something different. You know how they always were then.
Yeah,
you know, you had to have a jacket. You had, you know, I mean, they had rules. You know, you couldn't chew your gum. The only one chewed gum is Rocky Johnson.
Yeah.
So, you know, Rocky. See, Rocky, he came up to Portland too, twice. And brought The Rock with him, and The Rock was like 16 years old.
Yeah,
he was sitting inside the dressing room. I remember shaking his hand because I had a match with Rocky that night.
Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
But I tell you, hell, we could talk all night about this, especially, of course, just like I said, 18 years in it.
Man.
You know, I got a little bit of a break, you know.
Yeah.
But I got, just like I said, I just fell in love with Portland. Went to Canada a while, and I come back, and that's where I stayed. And met a lot of wrestlers that come in and out of Portland too. You know, a lot of the guys from Canada too, like Diamond Timothy Flowers, Vern Seaver.
Yeah.
All the guys there. And they would come down and wrestle. Well, we used to go up there and wrestle there until, I don't know, I think 82, 83, I think we quit. But we went up there, had a couple matches with them. But I kind of liked, I like the one thing I liked about Portland, your towns were like kind of straight. I mean, you know, you get on either I-5 or, you know, 84 and you're there.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a straight shot.
Well, that was actually what I was going to ask you. A real quick question. I promise. I know we're about to wrap up here, but what I was going to ask you is the differences between the Memphis loop and the Portland loop, especially since Wolfie knows the Memphis loop so well. I was just curious if they were similar or different, or.
Well, Jimmy, they were similar as far as the trips, because you really had to make here. You know, I guess Evansville, and I think as far west, you go maybe Knoxville every now and then. But see, in Portland, you had Medford, Seattle. You had Memphis, Seattle, Yakima, which that's kind of your furthest towns, and just like I say, you could be traveling with the boys there, and the same crew you had down in Florida. You know, it's just the trips. It's just, you know, if you want to compare them, then Memphis trips are a lot like Portland's. The only thing is Memphis I don't think they wrestle on Sunday.
Yeah, we were off on Sundays.
We all wrestled on Sunday. In fact, we would wrestle Yakima and that other little town right down from it. And we just like I said, and then every day, I don't ever remember a day being off. You know.
Well, Memphis was in the Bible Belt, I guess. Did that have anything to do with it, you think?
Probably.
Oh, I'm sure. You know it does, Wolfie. Yeah. You know, you get up there and, you know, but, you know, our Sunday shows did real well, especially in Yakima or someplace like that, you know.
Yeah.
But I had the privilege, just like I said, traveling with Rip Oliver and BOWTIE Dean and, Joey Jackson, all those guys that are, you know, we just got really, really close. I talked to Joey, I talked to BOWTIE Dean. They're still doing good, you know, and I'm just real happy that this thing is coming, because I've been wanting to go back to Portland.
Yeah.
And this just gives me a chance to go back. I got family there too. I got my son Michael and Taylor and my daughter Amber, and they're up there, and love to see them.
Yeah.
And yeah, I got some friends there. After 30 years, you got some roots there.
Yeah.
So I'm anxious to meet everybody. I'm anxious to go out there and just rumble in the crowd a little bit, you know.
That's
cool,
and I think it'll be fun.
I think y'all are going to have a blast.
If it's successful, I hope we can do it again, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, I don't have too many more of them left, but I might be able to make another one.
You got plenty.
We hear you. Well, man, I'm glad that you were able to take this time out of your day and spend it with us, just BSing, man. And I feel like this has kind of been a little road trip that you and I might have never gotten to take.
Hey, that's weird, isn't it? I mean, you know, because probably what I'm saying you've probably experienced, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But Wolfie, thank you all a lot, and I hope people in Portland get this too, because I'll be there on the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of February of this end. You better come see me, because it might be my last trip. Because I'm getting old. You know?
Yeah.
But I do. I can't wait to see the Grappler and the Assassin and BOWTIE Dean. I mean, not a BOWTIE Dean, but all the guys that are going to show, because, you know, this will be a reunion for us.
Yeah.
You know? It'll be fun. Are y'all going to show up?
I wish we could.
No,
man.
we're too far away.
Yeah, it's just
that would be great.
Yeah,
it would.
We could make a road trip. We could leave from Memphis.
Yeah, we could go to Yakima or somewhere like that.
Yeah, and see, the reason I know you're going to have a great time, we just had a Memphis reunion. It was a Hall of Fame induction for this year's class, which I'm so proud to say that I was in that. And, we kept telling everybody, the fans, you know, this is probably going to be the last time that you see this group of guys together. Lawler, Dundee, Jimmy Valiant, Danny Davis, myself and Jamie, Rock and Roll Express. Who else? Jimmy. Everybody was there, and it was just so great to see everybody. Tommy Rich, Doug Gilbert.
Oh, man. I missed that.
Yeah, it was in Jackson, Tennessee, man. Yeah, it was really good. And
that's right up the road from me. That's right up the road.
Yep.
Well, hopefully they'll have it next year. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Thanks y'all again. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Mike, man. Great talking to you, and I hope the event goes well, and I hope you have fun seeing your friends and family.
And make a ton of money.
Okay,
yeah, make a ton of money too.
Hey, I hope so. Y'all have a great. Y'all have a great Christmas, okay?
You too, buddy.
You too,
Thank
sir.
you, Mike.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And we'll be right back with Ask Wolfie D Anything.
DJ, hit the music. All right, we are back with Ask Wolfie D Anything, and it's getting old, Wolfie, but I always say it, man. Meet Mike Miller, dude. How awesome is that guy? Did you feel like you know him more now?
No, yes. I mean, yes, I do. Because like I said, man, and he may not remember it, but, you know, we were talking, you know, I know he was in Memphis in 93 when me and Jamie came in there. I know that, but I feel like I worked with him on some outlaw shows and stuff like that, like beforehand. So anyway, whatever. What a fucking great conversation. He's funny.
Yeah.
All these Portland guys, man, it's been great. Ricky
really
Santana, him, Lyndon. I mean, funny conversations. I love it. And we've got some great feedback from the listeners that have listened to this shit. And it's like, man, it's funny. It's great. I love it.
Yeah, we've had listeners saying, like, I'm loving this Portland chapter of the podcast.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So, and we've been getting a lot of kudos on YouTube, and we noticed that that's been increasing. So we thank you all so much for that. I think our Lynn Denton video had like 20 comments on it. I know that's crazy, but sometimes some of our videos don't have any comments on it. So it was like 20 comments almost the first day. So anyway, that's cool. Keep commenting, keep liking, keep showing, keep sharing. Thank you all so much. Yeah. And Mean Mike to me is just one of those I think Mean Mike could have pivoted to the movies at one point, man. He just had that great look about him of just this awesome bad guy. He just looks like a great bad guy, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we've got some good questions here for you today, Wolfie D. And the first one. Yeah. And the first one is this. I know. Ask Wolfie. Yeah. So it's John Lewis at 6196 on YouTube. And this is actually good because we didn't really get to follow this up with the conversation. So it says, got a question for Ask Wolfie Anything. Did Brian Christopher and Billy Jack Haynes have any words in the locker room after Billy broke that trophy over his head?
I do not think so. Because honestly, man, when that went down, you know, we talked about it and stuff.
Yeah.
God, he fucking sliced him, but I don't think Brian would have like came to him. You know what I mean?
Okay, I got you.
I don't mean like, you know,
right,
like the pussy or something like that. But nah, I think Billy did it, and I think Brian took it, and yeah, it was what it was.
Okay, Wolfie, let's pretend this happened to you. What would you have done?
What I've done?
Yeah.
Oh man, I mean, if the guy slung that thing at me like that,
ill intent,
just,
you know.
Yeah, but I think I would have like not said anything. I mean, just like I just said, man, we were doing stuff, we were drawing money, and shit happens. It's not ballet,
right? That's true. That is true. But I'm just saying, it seems like, you know, like he kind of had ill intent with that. I mean, maybe he didn't, you know, and you kind of had, I guess what you're saying is, was it vague enough? Was the intent vague enough that it could be written off as just, okay, hey, it was an accident?
I'm not, man. Yeah. Good question. But when you sling shit like that, yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, you probably did it on purpose. So
sharp corners, like very sharp, you know, like
very sharp. I mean, if you can realize the thing that I'm talking about, this trophy was like a
multiple tiered trophy kind of deal.
36 inches tall.
My God. Yeah. So it's got probably them like 2 or 3 marble like bases, and then it's those sharp
the
gold
top
eagles.
The top of it had the like the little person standing there with their arms out and whatever, and that's what hit Brian in the head, man. So I don't know. I wouldn't have swung it like that. But anyway, he's in jail now. So whatever.
Exactly.
He killed his wife. So whatever.
So, Brian, you're getting something back, brother. We promise. It's not for you specifically, buddy. But anyway, man. Yeah. So that's just that was a good question that I should have felt like I should have asked at the time that it happened. But I'm sorry. But anyway, I'm glad that. So anyway, yeah, I get it. I probably wouldn't have started anything with him either. But, you know, like you said, it's not ballet. So he's crazy. So, okay.
If you look like that and you laugh like that, you're crazy. And you just killed your wife and you're in prison. So, yeah.
Right. Wow, man. Yeah. Oh, God. Okay.
Just saying. Yeah, I think you're saying it. Yeah. Okay. Well, Brad Freeland on Facebook is asking this question, and this is a good one, too. It says, if Wolfie broke into the business 10 years sooner, what territories would he have liked to have worked?
Man, I would have loved Portland. I mean, we were going to talk about that. Yeah, I'd love to went there. Texas, Memphis, of course, though. I mean, that's a gimme.
Right.
You know, man, the Carolinas. I feel like I could have done good in all those different territories, like seriously.
Florida. But dude, Florida, totally. I could see you in Florida easy. That would have been no brainer. I mean, I really could have seen you in that early, in the Portland scene. You were just a little bit too late to the big time, weren't you? Like, cause it kind of shut down, but a lot of your buddies had gone, like Raven, Steve Dahl, Rex King. I mean, so many guys had already gone to Portland. And so that would have been probably something that you could have made happen if you would have been a little bit quicker, you know?
Yeah.
Or
10
older.
years. Think about that. 10 years earlier would have been 1983.
So you would have started at 6 instead of 16. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but think about it. 1983, because in 1993 was when me and Jamie, you know, made our deal or whatever in Memphis. But I'd also been working, you know, 3 years before that. So anyway, 1983. 1984 is when the business really picked up, you know? You know what I'm saying? So, WWE and all that kind of, or WWF back then. And not all the territories were dead yet. So, fuck, man, it'd have been cool. Cool.
And you guys could have actually probably like done the whole Rock and Roll Express gimmick, although you would have been PG-13. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean,
rap really wasn't popular.
It,
you know, you would have come out looking like Kiss probably or something, but be called PG-13.
The Kiss gimmick.
Yes. Because Rock and Roll Express kind of had Van Halen, you know, and so you know that's funny.
That's hilarious.
Okay. Well, that's a good question. And Portland, I think you would have done well at for sure. I think just knowing all the guys up there that worked with you and up there. So okay. All right. So Michael Gross on Facebook says, "Why did you bring in Justin Credible as PG-187?"
I did not bring him in. Dutch Mantel did that. That was a Dutch Mantel thing. He was kind of booking at that point in USWA.
Okay.
And they brought him in for that. So it wasn't it wasn't something they asked me about or Jamie either. Dutch was like, "Hey, we're bringing this guy in and he's PG-187," and I think Dutch even gave him that name. So,
I mean, were you like, okay, can you and Jamie? You're not even told about it. You're just said, "Here it is, take it."
I mean, we're told about it, but it was like, okay, great. You know what I mean? We had a midget. We had. We also had Chris Kearns.
And you also have Danny. No, I'm just kidding. I'm talking about, never mind. Sorry. Go ahead.
Chris Kearns was a little clown that came with us. And that was another Dutch thing with Reno's gimmick. Chris Kearns was, what'd they call him? Lucky 13. So I guess Dutch just kept wanting to put people with us. I mean, but you had a midget, You had Lucky 13. You had, Just Incredible, whatever.
I see y'all as more of a faction, not a tag team.
Yeah. We need y'all to be a faction.
Oh, my God. That's funny. Yeah, but I can't. Okay, I can see the clown thing. That makes sense. And I can see the Danny thing. But, like, what is PG-187? Is he just, like, supposed to be this murderer guy?
I guess he was.
Y'all got locked up over the weekend and y'all were thrown in a cell with a murderer or something,
Yeah, but I think that's what happened.
Okay.
I think that's what happened, man.
That's
I don't know, man. But, bless his heart. Fucking fucker. He won't even talk to me these days. What a fucking dick. But
anyway. I don't get that one either. Wonder what his deal is, man.
Yeah, he's a deal. But anyway.
Well, that's all we got, man. But I do know we got something very cool coming up next week. So y'all got to stick around for that. I'm excited.
What do we got? Are you kayfabing me?
Yeah, we're kayfabing them, Wolfie. Remember? Wink, wink.
Oh, okay. All right.
But thank y'all. That's all I got, man. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Y'all tune in next week, and we're gonna have something cool that Jimmy is kayfabing me on. So cool.
Still livin' in color on the Wolfie D. It's Wolfie D, baby. I got a cap for your dome. You got a cap for your dome.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, the podcast that's based on the old school but can still help you find the good stuff from today. Jimmy Street and the Plastic Chic, Jared, are the undisputed tag team champions of the wrestling podcast world. From thought-provoking topics to superstar interviews to action figure expertise. This team does it all, and all they ask is, give me back my pro wrestling! Every other Thursday, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Woo, mister! This is Handsome Jimmy, professional wrestler, the Boogie Woogie Man. Come on, people, my brothers and sisters, don't you dare miss this one. It's Wrestling Talk with Mayor McCall. Yes, baby, be there or be square. Oh, yeah, ha, 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 ha.
That's right, it's the talk of Middle Tennessee, the channel you love to hate and the channel you hate to love. It's Brian Turner from Brian Turner's VHS Rehab. And if you're looking for matches from Wolfie D to Jerry Lawler to Dusty Rhodes and the team that put a pimp before your eyes and a goatee between your thighs, Booty Call and Athena, go to lostwrestling.com. See, I made it easy for you. Brian Turner's VHS Rehab. Booyah.
Hey everybody, Gene Jackson here, inviting you to check out the Retro Wrestling Review, where each week I'm joined by some great co-hosts who help me review classic episodes of USWA Championship Wrestling, and right now we are doing week-by-week reviews of 1993. But we don't just do reviews, sometimes we get a chance to interview some of the people who were there and lived it, plus do watch-alongs. It's a lot of fun, so check out new episodes that drop every Wednesday at WrestleCopia.com, and to find links to everything associated to the podcast, you can go to USWApodcast.com.
Hi, this is Mike Needham, host of the Reckless Abandon Podcast with Mike Needham. We invite you to jump on your favorite podcast platform and search for the Reckless Abandon Podcast and give us a listen. I'm sometimes joined by a part-time podcaster, part-time co-host, and full-time wife, Tiffany Nicole. We talk wrestling, we talk pop culture, we talk local events, local happenings in West Tennessee, and a ton of other stuff. But be sure to check out the Reckless Abandon Podcast. Find us on Facebook. Also, look up the Microgroup Podcasting family on Facebook and see some of our other podcasts we have out there. Until next time, make good choices, and always remember, no dollar, no dice.
So that was another great episode. Hey, Wolfie, tell them where they can find you on social media.
Jimmy, they can find me in the club, bottle full of bub. I'm just kidding. They can find me on Facebook. My personal page is Warren Wolf, WOLFE. I'm on Instagram at Warren Wolf 13.
You can always find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Live Wolfie D. Here's the thing. Wolfie always has offers for his autographed photos. He has a selection of some awesome photos from throughout his career that he will autograph and personalize any way that you want him to. Just contact him either directly at his personal Facebook page or through any one of our other pages, and we'll make sure you get in contact directly with Wolfie. Get those photos, right, Wolfie?
Yeah, I've got some good stuff on there, to help with the podcast.
Folks, if you can't get out to a show to meet Wolfie D, there's nothing like that, especially for the fans of PG-13 and Wolfie D. And before we go, you can always find me, your host, Jimmy Street, at James Rock Street on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
And hey, Jimmy, before we go real quick, I just want to add in there, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate, first of all, the work you've done for this podcast. You have worked your butt off. Secondly, the people that are liking the page. Beyond that, even more, is the people that are listening, and we really appreciate that.
Yeah, and remember, guys, the podcast drops a new episode every Monday at noon, and our past episodes are streaming now on demand on all major podcast formats. Thanks again.
I got a cap for your dome.
He got a cap for your dome.
I got a cap for your dome.
He got a cap for your dome.
He got a
cap for your dome.
And here we go. The original white boy that came out sagging, not bragging, don't be hating, cause I'm spitting the truth. Still livin' in color. Plum rush your mother, utilize a hubcap, unlike any other. Back in the day, I was NOD, and I was P to the G, plus the 1 and the 3. In case you forgot, they call me Wolfie D. Been cloned and copied so many times, tired of suckers taking credit for what is mine. You know who you are without me name dropping. Wrestling's first white boy coming out hip hop. Been doing it like this since 92. Laid low for a while and you thought I was through. Listen real close to these rhymes that I've injected. This shit's so sick it makes your ears get infected. Mad skills, no faking, there is no one great. Cause I'm bringing more folks than Obi-Wan or Vader. Not here to play games, so you better beware. You don't like me, so what? I really don't care. Like time I keep ticking and I can't be stopped. You sucker step to the side unless you wanna get dropped. With my finish, I'll straight knock you out. Please allow me to tell you what it's all about. I'm gonna wind it up, then I'm driving it home. It's Wolfie D, baby. I got a cap for your dome. I got a cap for your dome.
He got a cap for your dome. He got a cap for your dome.
This has been a James Rock Street production.